This simple system books me meetings every day, and it's how I make thousands a month selling AI. And look, I'm not going to sit here and promise you that you can make $10,000 overnight using this system, but here's what I will say. This system fucking works. In fact, I already have 2 videos on this channel where I book 6 meetings from 50 cold calls. So that is 12 qualified meetings in only 100 cold calls using this system. For context, I've been selling AI Receptionists for around a year now, and I've tried everything. I've tried cold email, I've tried walk-ins, I've tried warm network, I've tried DMs, I've tried it all, okay? While those methods are great, this cold calling system is the one I use today because it is an absolute machine for booking meetings. And I use the word machine because what I'm going to talk about today isn't a method, it's a system. Because when you're running a business, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the exact system that I use to get paying AI receptionist clients every single month. From how I find leads, the script I use to cold call, how I book my meetings, and how I convert those booked meetings into paying clients. So if you watch until the end of this video and actually pay attention to the details, you'll have everything you need to know to start getting paying AI receptionist clients. Let's start with where I actually get my leads. I promise you it cannot get simpler than this. I get businesses from Google Maps, I transfer them to a spreadsheet, and that's my lead list. I'm not BSing you, that's how I do it. For example, I'll look up a niche, roofing contractor near a city, near Tampa Bay in this case. I'll find these businesses, they have between 50 to 100, sometimes 35 reviews, whatever, and I'll transfer them to a Google Sheet and I'll call them. You guys are literally looking at my cold call list now. I'll just copy and paste some businesses that I saw on Google Maps and I'll transfer them to this sheet and I'll call them one by one. I'll just go down the list. It is that simple. I can't believe I'm giving this away for free, but I'm going to be going over the exact script I use when I call these businesses from Google Maps. I start off every call saying, "Hi, is this X business? Is this John's Plumbing?" They're going to be like, "Yes." Then I ask, "Is this the owner?" They're going to say yes or no. If they say yes, I move on to the hook. If they say no, then I don't waste my time because I don't waste my time with people who aren't decision makers, so I'll simply end the call politely. Now, if you're wondering, why am I using a hook for a cold call? I thought that was for content. Well, I use hooks for cold calls too, because why wouldn't I want to capture the curiosity and interest of the person I'm cold calling just as I would when I'm making content, right? So I use a hook. It's worked tremendously for me, and I don't think enough people are using hooks when they're cold calling. But anyways, my hook is this. "Hey, this is Adam calling from Six Flow. I'm not sure if you've heard our name tossed around, but we work with home service businesses across Ontario." Boom, I just established credibility and authority. Then I say, "I'm actually the founder here." Boom, owner to owner, founder to founder. Let's talk with respect. I just established that from this hook. But anyways, we're offering free AI audits to home service business owners right now. Boom, bold claim, captured interest and curiosity, and I'll just pause there. At this point, they can do one of 3 things. The first thing they can do is hang up in your face, in which case you don't call them back, you go on to the next person. The second possible thing that's going to happen is they're going to hit you with a neutral response. So this can be something like, okay, what does that mean? Or they just might be silent after you pause, in which case, after a neutral response, you're going to ask them the question, is this something you've come across before? Most of the time, they're going to say no, or not really, or maybe a little bit, but not really. But all you're doing here is you're giving yourself permission to explain. You're basically entering your way into the conversation, because once they say no, I haven't heard of this before, it's implicit permission for you to explain what it is. It's an opening into the conversation, and it works like crazy. And once I get that opening, I say this: well, it's just a quick 15-minute call where we show you exactly how other businesses in your industry are currently using AI. And to be transparent, the reason we can do it for free is because we know that 80% of businesses are going to adopt AI in the next 12 to 18 months. Boom, introduced urgency and scarcity, by the way. And then I continue anyways. I say, so we're just building relationships early now, so if or when the time comes where you do want to adopt AI, you have a contact to reach out to. So does that 15-minute call sound fair sometime when you're available? Once you get that out, a lot of people are just going to say yes. You might have to deal with some objections. I'm not going to talk about objection handling right now because I probably have like 3 or 4 other videos on this channel about how to handle objections. You can check those out. But if you get to this last line and you complete the sentence, so does that 15-minute call sound fair sometime when you're available? You're going to book meetings. Now let's talk about the third possibility that they can say after you hit them with the hook, which is something negative. They're going to say something like, I'm not interested right off the bat. That could happen, in which case you hit them with a question. You hit them with, out of curiosity, I mean, is AI on the radar for you guys? Is that something you've explored? They're either going to hang up in your face or they're going to say no or yes. If they say no, then you hit them with this. Well, in that case, I actually think the audit would be beneficial to you, because all we're looking to do is show you exactly how other businesses in your industry are currently using AI. And the reason we can do it for free, and then you just complete this part and you hit them with that last sentence, right? So it's the same thing. You're just circling back to that ask or to that close before, like we said before, and you're going to do that with the yes response too. So you're going to ask before, you're going to ask, out of curiosity, is AI something you explored? They're going to be like, yeah, we actually do explore. And I say, got it. Has any of what you've seen made you consider implementing it into your operations? They can say, I have no here, but they say yes or no, but you're going to do the same thing. You're going to say, yeah, well, fair enough. I actually think the AI would be beneficial for you, because all we're looking to do is show you exactly how other businesses in your industry and so on and so on. And you hit them with this exact same close. And the key here is to get to this sentence. The more times you get to this sentence and you go for the ask, we're going to come back to this later actually, the more times you can ask in your calls, the more success you're going to have. But by the way, 2 things you need to do, or else this whole thing falls to crap. The first thing you need to do is talk with confidence and certainty. You'll do this through practice, because the thing you need to know is that it's not what you say, it's how you say it, okay? If you're saying this script with low volume and low confidence, it's not going to work. You need to speak with confidence, okay? The second thing that you need to do is be consistent. You got to make a certain amount of calls every single day, okay? Monday to Friday, whatever you do, maybe it's one time per week. You need to be consistent, okay? You need to be, this is a volume game is what I'm trying to say. You can't make 100 calls on Thursday and never touch the phone again. You need to be making X calls per day. So maybe that's 50 calls per day every single day, 20 calls per day every single day. I don't care. It's a volume game, okay? By the way, if you want access to all of my scripts, all of my frameworks, all of my templates, it's all available in our school community, link in the description below. Now, here's a lesson you're gonna have to learn the hard way. When you book meetings, not everyone's gonna show up. We need to do certain things in order for them to show up. So this is the show rate that I'm going to be talking about, because booking meetings isn't enough. They need to show up to the meeting if you want to close them, and that's what I'm going to be talking about right now. So we just went over this, booking the meeting over the cold call. Now there's 2 things that you can do. This one's a pro move here. I'm going to put you guys on, and then you get to the actual conversation where the conversions happen, okay? Conversation equals conversion. If you don't get to the conversation, you're not converting anything. So anyways, the first thing you're going to want to do prior to the actual meeting is 3 follow-ups, okay? This is just my suggestion, and this could be over email. You can call them, and it's as simple as you can email them, say, hey, just friendly reminder for our call tomorrow at 2 p.m. or whatever, or you can give them a call. Hey, John, just calling to confirm that we're still good for the meeting tomorrow at 2. Whatever it is, follow up 3 times. This could be 24 hours before, an hour before, and then 15 minutes before. Space it out. I know there are certain standards for when you're supposed to follow up, but the point I'm trying to convey here is that you need to follow up 3 times before the meeting, okay? And once you do that, here's a pro move. Personalized Loom video. So Loom video is a personalized 1-minute video, and you basically just talk to them. So this is an example of a Loom video that I did. There's no volume, but this is what it looks like. I just send an email and I'm saying, hey John, thanks for booking the meeting. I'm going to be talking about this, this, and this. It'll provide value to you because this, and this. Maybe I'll give them a tidbit of value just to show that I mean business. And this personalized outreach shows that you're putting in effort, and it's going to increase conversion rates by a ton. And the reason this is so slept on, because it takes about 1 to 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes if you want to script and prepare, fine. So 5 minutes, and this will increase show rate significantly. 5 minutes of your time has never had so much leverage, okay? So don't sleep on this additional 5 minutes to increase your show rate. Okay, your prospect shows up to the meeting because you followed up 3 times and you did the script on the cold call. What do you do on this meeting, on this AI audit, if you followed the script to convert them into a paying customer? Well, you got to do 3 things. So the first thing you're going to do is when they first jump on the call, you're going to say, hey, how's it going? I usually keep that to 10 seconds. I get straight to business, okay? Because I mean business, okay? I'm not chit-chatting about nothing. I'm talking business over here. So after the initial, hey, how are you? I say something like, hey, I have some stuff prepared for you, John, but Is there anything in particular you wanted to discuss today about AI that we should go over? And all this shows is that you're not about to waste their time. This is a valuable call and their time is valuable to you. You're not taking it for granted. And to show them that, you're showing them that I'm willing to provide extra value to you. Just tell me what you want to hear. But to be honest, this is just a standard thing. Most of the time, they're just going to be like, no, I'm open to listening to what you have to say. You're the expert here. The second thing you need to do is to prepare and present a slide deck. I'm going to show you the elements that you should be presenting on the slide deck, but you should have a slide deck prepared, and here's exactly why. When it comes to sales conversations, you as the salesperson need to have control of the conversation. You determine of how the conversation goes, okay? As Jordan Belfort likes to say, you don't want to go all the way up to Saturn or down to Uranus. You want to stay, planet reference, I know, but you want to stay on track and progress the sale on your terms. And to do that, we use a slide deck, because what are we taught since we were a kid about slide decks? When someone presents, you sit back and listen, okay? It's an internal psychological thing. So when you prepare and present a slide deck to a prospect, their natural response is going to be to sit back and listen to you, and it makes it 100 times more easy for you to take control over the conversation. So what's included in this slide deck? The first thing I like to show them is this graph about AI. This is real life. This is not a fake graph. This is real data. And essentially what I tell them is, I tell them this. I say, hey, look, John, if there's one thing I want you to get out of this meeting, it's the fact that AI is real and it's going to grow. So right now we're in 2026. Okay. Yeah. It's not as significant right now, but in a few years, this thing is going to be real and you cannot overlook it. And this is going to show them that AI is the real deal. They already know it in the back of their heads, but you're going to really hammer down that idea, because guess what? It's true. AI is coming. It is the real deal. It is an opportunity. Let them know. Okay. The second thing we're going to do is present to them a demo. Okay. This is more of a pro tip. It will help your meetings, but a lot of these times when you're cold calling, they've never heard voice AI before. They never heard an AI receptionist. It's your job to put the product in front of their face. So basically, I have this phone number that I have to blur out because for obvious reasons, but basically I tell them to call this number and they talk to the AI receptionist. Sometimes they'll take the meeting on their phone, in which case I'll call the AI receptionist and just make sure they hear it and have a conversation with them. And essentially putting the product in front of their face, they say, wow, this is amazing. And the next thing I do is I talk to them about what this product does, and at the same time, I'm price anchoring. Because from the phone call alone, they just get a broad conceptualization of what the AI receptionist sounds like, particularly the fact that it sounds human, but they don't understand what it could actually do, in which case I present it to them. So I say, yeah, it could answer the phone 24/7, and you guys know this. We're in the AI receptionist space. We know what it does. But the main thing I'm doing here is I'm price anchoring. So I'll basically tell them what traditionally business owners used to do to solve the problem of missed calls. So they used to hire front desk staff. That's approximately $2,500 a month. Other businesses resort to offshore call answering services, which is an additional $2,500 a month. And then they're losing opportunity, losing potential revenue from missed calls. So essentially, this is about $5,000 a month that was traditionally spent to solve this problem. And then I present them with my price, which is significantly less than $5,000 a month. You're going to price it yourself. Maybe it's $100 a month. Maybe it's free if you're just getting started. That's no problem. Maybe it's $800 a month. Whatever it is, you present to them that price immediately after you anchored it high at $5K a month. You say, we actually have this service at $300 a month. Is that something you would want to give a try this month? And the point I'm trying to say here is that you got to directly ask for the sale. This is in bold red because this is probably the thing that most salespeople don't do, despite it being the most important thing to do in a sales call. Ask for the sale, because the same way, if they don't show up to the meeting, then you booking the call does nothing because they didn't show up. You not asking for the sale makes the whole meeting pointless, because you're not going to close anything. You're not going to close any deals if you don't ask for the deal. So ask for the deal. Be like, hey, John, you ready to move forward with this product or service tomorrow? Hey, John, you mind if I set this AI receptionist for you tomorrow? We'll get onboarding. I don't care how you ask for the sale, okay? Lastly, I just want to make you guys aware, if you guys mean business and actually want to build and sell these AI receptionists to businesses, check out link in the description. We walk you through everything you need to know in our school community. If not, no problem, but like this video and subscribe. It really helps us out, and take care.